this video. Wait, let me. You want me to react to it? Someone wanted to react to a DVD Duke montage. I mean, I might. I bet it's Baby Killers. I bet it's, you know, someone on like some really low MMR account for some reason. But like somehow they've got on it. Wesker again. You got it, man. That'll be after this though.
Trying to think of optimal Wesker build. Feel like Painres suits him well. Though I still despise how it basically requires agitation as well. Unsure. Please try Agi, Painres, Pop, Nowhere.
I was super nervous to upload
Let's see.
this, but I feel like I'm going to get asked.
So as I said, this is why are so many content creators quitting Dead by Daylight? Super nervous to upload it. Why?
As to why I'm not playing DBD. I'm quitting Dead by Daylight temporarily. Was a tweet I'd been recommended, and I can't help but ask the question as to why so many DBD content creators are quitting Dead by Daylight, taking a break. I'll be honest, I watched a bit of this video. It is very well put together.
I'll say one thing. Even if DBD was in like a really, really good place and all this kind of stuff, like burnout, as people say, right? If you've been streaming it for thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, that's going to happen on anything, even if it were perfect. So that can be a reason too.
And I kind of want to cover this with you guys to highlight and showcase how some DVD content creators...
Free content creators, so many. Yeah.
I never thought that I would make this video. I feel like I'm going to get asked a lot on stream as to why I'm taking a break from...
I'm not sure what this is, by the way.
Honestly, is a very sad topic for me because I love this game and having to take a break from it is really, really sad for me. Dead by Daylight
Slusher. Yeah, I get it, Slusher. I just don't know who it is.
So grateful for the game, but right now...
Audio's a bit quiet. God damn it.
Starting off with number one, I know possibly everything there is to know about Dead by Daylight.
Wait.
To sound cocky,
What's going on here? I'm reacting to him, kind of reacting to her, for fuck's sake. I didn't know that's what this video was gonna be. We're both just watching her right now.
When I say that, I know possibly everything there is to know. Even when it comes to my recent YouTube series that I've been doing, getting good at all of the killers in Dead by Daylight since I've been a Survivor main for so long. Majority of the things that I have been taught in both of those videos, I knew already. And possibly with every single other killer in the list, I know it. And basically that series just me knowing those things and actually applying them in games. And learning things is fun for me. That's why I loved Dead by Daylight and the little things that you could do.
Dead by Daylight's main core demographic is a very dedicated player base who has thousands of hours playing their game, and the developers know this. They've covered this in a previous Q&A in the past. The people that play their game and are dedicated to it are people who have thousands of hours and play non-stop. And when it comes to the changes that this game gets, will be in accordance to their target.
The reason I've got thousands of hours is because I've played it since beta. There's some people who have like matching my hours and they've just started like 2 years ago and shit.
Demographic. Well, there's a problem with that. Precisely with her next point.
The little things that you could do. And that brings me to my second point. Skill expression within the game
I said this on
being
Twitter.
removed slowly but surely.
I said this on Twitter a month ago.
Light burning, meaning burning artist crows, burning hag traps, wraith, and nurse. With art
Skill expression burning crows? Is that skill? The issue with that is, let's say the burning crows, it's when someone else is doing it, right? That's when it was an issue. If you were burning yourself in Chase, it probably weren't too bad. It's when someone's following you and burning it. Following you and burning all this stuff. I think that's where it was more of an issue. And like two people, once again, it goes back to the Swift thing, right? Where it just imbalances things. But when you have two people with two flashlights insta on Wraith burning him out. So I think that's where they came from. I wonder if that's skillful though, right? Would you say that's skill expression? I don't think that's too skillful personally.
artist being an anti-loop killer, it felt like one of the only
Oh,
things
there you go.
that you
Oh,
could
wait.
do was
I mean, there's the gist. What I'm talking about.
with artists being an anti
She's chasing someone. This isn't. I don't think this is a game because they just stood there. says test build, so they're probably just doing whatever. But she's potentially chasing someone, and then and then you just turn into a mouse one, right? I mean, when the most skillful thing were it? I guess at least it's got one person off gens.
One of the only things that you could do was light burn her crows or have someone chase you with a flashlight to get rid of those crows, and that's just not possible anymore. With Artist, it may be a good thing because she is a little bit difficult to play, but even still, it was a fun little interaction that survivors could learn to do in-game.
But you have to think about with the counterplay to it. As long as there's counterplay to stuff, it's fine.
Majority of people didn't know.
But if there isn't counterplay, it isn't.
Same with Hag. Majority of people didn't know that you could burn her traps, and then if you did learn,
the majority of people didn't know
that.
that.
The
Fucking hell.
likelihood that so many flashlights would be in a lobby. If you saw that many flashlights, you could dodge, or as Hag, you can run Franklin's, for example. She has more,
which kept getting nerfed, but yeah,
counter ability now than she did when flashlights could light burn her traps. Before, you had to have a flashlight and couldn't get rid of Hag traps at all. But now, absolutely anyone can remove a Hag trap. Nurse, it was insanely hard to light burn. So it was a really fun type of skill expression.
Except the people that I went against and they fucking did it loads, and I was like, fuck's sake. I think when you had two people as well, it was easy. Well, it was never easy. It was definitely a hard thing to do, but... Wait, did they get rid of this, guys? Did they get rid of it where you can't light burn Nurse? I guess I haven't noticed it, so I'm assuming they actually have.
That you could do against the most powerful killer.
Okay,
in the
that's
game.
weird.
And with
that's weird. I don't know why they've got rid of that. Yeah, that's weird. I agree with that one. Nurse is really strong, and that's really hard to do. So I think that's fair.
Wraith, light burning Wraith was one of my favorite things that you could do in.
No, I don't agree with the Wraith thing. That was fucking irritating. You can't do anything about it. If it was just a one-on-one, it weren't too bad. But again, it's this Swift thing, man. Like I think a lot of this is going to revolve around Swift. Why it's got nerfed, by the way. Because if you had like 2 or 3 people walking around with flashlights, or even just 2, or even just one following one, they could just burn you out so quickly, and you can't do anything about it. So you're just this mouse one Wraith. So I kind of see where it's coming from. She said it was a favorite thing. Yeah. As one-on-one, it's not too bad because you can kind of hide from it. It was kind of a bit annoying. But, you know, it is kind of, there is something going on there. When they were another person, that's when it was kind of bad, I would say. It was very checkmatey, yeah. Not interesting.
In the game, you could get behind stuff as Wraith encountered the light burn, and
to an
survivors
extent.
Probably would just waste their flashlight on you burning the Wraith anyway. Now there's no reason to do that. It's something that I miss with Dead by Daylight because majority of people didn't.
Sounds so far she's missing kind of more interactivity with things. It's mainly flashlights. I have a feeling it's actually all flashlights. Actually, now that I think about it, she misses flashlights power. That's what it sounded like, actually.
Know that you could do those things.
5-second stun, was it? Fucking hell.
Probably a good thing that they're removed.
Yeah, very good. They were broken.
That not a lot of people knew that you could do.
Yeah, but top players abused it, and then you can't do anything about it. So, what can you do about it? If you create counterplay, like, you could do something like this. This is what I keep talking about. Like, you could do it where you can bait opening a locker. Right? You can bait it. You have an animation baiting it. Same with pallets. You can bait kicking pallets. If you have these baits, then you have a bit of counterplay to it. Because then the survivor has to commit and maybe be right and maybe be wrong. Then there's more counterplay. Because you're locked in animation, you can't do anything. You can't bait anything. It's stupid, right? Have counterplay, fair enough. Right? You want counterplay, right? You don't want just fucking uncounterable bullshit. It's fun for them. It's not fun for you. Can't do it about it. They're just running there and now he's safe.
Learning the timing on it was kind of hard. I barely ever did it myself, but it was
yeah. I'll go against people who do it like 24.
But even still, it was something fun
like perfect
in the game that you
every
could
time.
do. Also, that leads me into flashlight timing being removed. I can't tell you how many times I've played Killer, and I know for a fact that I would not have gotten flashlight saved or flashbang saved pre-flashlight timing change.
Agree.
Now it's like flashlights are a right place, right time thing rather than a skillfully used item. Maybe
100%.
it's a good thing because
no, it
the
isn't.
ping thing.
There's no ping.
I know that's probably the reason that they changed it.
No, it isn't. It's casuals.
Even still. Kind of miss it sometimes. Another one is Sky Billy. I can't tell you how much I miss Sky Billy. So much. I only ever got to go against one, and it was one of the most fun games of Dead by Daylight, and I'll never forget one. And it was one of the most fun games of Dead by Daylight, and I'll never forget my first Sky Billy. It was something that rarely ever gave you any type of competitive advantage in the game. It was just something fun. And it was kind of funny to get sniped from the top of a building sometimes, being able to have a giggle. Very recently, Chucky Flicks got removed very, very quickly.
They did.
And I know it was probably something that was only able to be done on a PC. But even still,
Zach, thank you for the Prime.
it made playing
And
Chucky
Troll for the
fun.
sub on YouTube.
With the flicks being gone, you basically only go against Chuckies that
It's
will
watered down.
scamper under a pallet and get a free hit on you.
And they're doing that with Blight, or getting close to, and they're probably going to be doing it with Wesker and Billy with the Low Pro.
As I'm speaking, the Dead by Daylight PTB
They're watering it
for
down.
the blight changes has been...
The thing is, why are they watering down? And I said this on Twitter. I said it a month ago or something. You can see it on my Twitter. Why are they like watering down everything? Why are they making the skill cap lower when they've said there's people with thousands of hours in the game? Like, wouldn't they want to reward that amount of time? Doesn't make any sense. The devs don't make sense with a lot of things. Like, if you try and find logic in it, you don't really find it. The only logic is cater to new players. Cater to new players. Then there's logic. But when you start thinking about, you know, thousands and thousands of hours on the game, then why are you making the skill cap lower, right? Like, there's people with like 20,000 hours in the game. Why are you making it where you can pick up this killer and learn everything about that killer in like, what would I say, 100 hours or something? Maybe less? Obviously, the more depth in DBD at the moment isn't actually the killer's ability for a lot of them. It's more, what would I say? It's more the juggling. It's more perk synergy. It's more understanding loop distancing, shit like that, right? But it's weird that they get rid of the skill cap. It's more about kind of, macro. It's more about macro and micro, isn't it? Actually, I think it's just macro. Micro's different. Yeah. He's a AFK.
Postponed. It was supposed to be today, but it got postponed. But the blight changes. As unfun as it is to get hug-teched by a blight, you can't deny that it does
for the
take
5 months.
some
I always say your
form
name
of
wrong.
skill
I know who it
expression
is.
to
It's the
be
Greek
able to
guy
do
in
it.
it.
I suck at it.
Greek god
But
or
it
whatever.
can't be argued that it's skill expression. Hug-teched by a blight, you can't deny that it does take some form of skill expression to be able to do it.
Of course it
I
does, yeah.
suck at it. But it can't be
Yeah, but
argued that it's pretty easy to do. I can do it sometimes, but it makes going against Blight a little bit fun.
I think the Wesker one's
in my
harder.
Personal opinion, and it makes him fun to play. So
'Cause the
that
Wesker
being
one-
removed, it kind of hurt.
I'm just thinking. The reason why they're getting rid of it is because it's not intended, but sometimes not intended things are good. Like, I've used this example before with Smash, right? Where I think it was... What's it called? Wave dashing? I think it's wave dashing. Wave dashing weren't intended, but it actually it pushed the game to like a higher level using it. I think it's wave dashing. So they've just left it, right? And they've almost embraced it, and it's become this whole thing. Like DBD, there's many different things that weren't intended, but if the devs embraced it, it could evolve into something much more. Ironically, the devs should already know this, because the devs created this game to be hide and seek. That's what they were aiming for it to be, right? They didn't even think about the looping. The community hybrided the game into looping, and the devs actually went with it. So you'd think that from them having this vision, realizing that the community's found something which can grow even further than that, and then going with it, that they'd keep doing it. But no, it seems like they've just stopped there, and they're like, no, that was a happy accident, but everything else isn't, right? That's what I get from it.
And with what?
RL Wave Dash. Yeah, it's supposed to be hide and seek. I've played it since beta, man. I remember like what the intended shit were. They had pallets everywhere too, because the pallets were supposed to get like the stun, or so the killer kicks it so you can hide away again.
What they're doing to Blight.
They didn't even think about
gives us
looping.
an insight as to what is coming. Hug-teching Wesker is going to be removed at
Yep.
some point.
Yep,
One
I agree.
ADing as Oni. I'm an Oni
Yeah,
man, is
probably.
going to be removed at some point. And
Probably.
those are some of the most fun games that I have right now.
And it also weakens him massively, because a lot of times when you go against good survivors with some of these killers, like Oni, for example, you're only going to get him with 180. Or you're only going to get him by turning further than the devs want you to turn, right? It still is in 180, right? Because I know they've made his slam slower, but I'm pretty sure you can still 180. His slam just looks really weird. I don't know what the fuck they've done to that. It's not as satisfying.
Dead by Daylight and them being removed. Not to mention that they keep adding invisible walls to stuff all of the time for whatever reason. Sniping as twins has become increasingly hard to do because of the invisible walls. Even demo, you can't.
It's probably something to do with the hit detection, maybe? I'm not sure. I know that demo had some weird fucking hit detection when...
Increasingly hard
if you did that and there were a survivor here, you could hit that survivor and it wouldn't class as an injure. So maybe there's a bit of that going. Fuck knows. Fuck knows why they do that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because of the invisible walls. Even demo, you can't fly off of buildings anymore because
probably to stop going on loops.
Right
could be.
How long
could
is
be.
This video so far 13 minutes. Okay, that ain't that bad.
Oh my god, she's done her research. All of these different texts. We have to think about the Dead by Daylight target demographic. Who are the players that we're trying to please that play our game?
One of the main goals is to explore.
They want to aim for casual players because they give them the most money. The only thing they're going to get from the vets are cosmetics, which can be all right, but it's not going to be as good as the casual players. That's what they're aiming for. They're aiming for new players, new players, new players. That's what I get. Like, when does it ever feel like they're designing things for the vet players? I don't even know. Like, when does it feel like they're doing that? That was video. Casual survivors. Yeah, it'll be casual survivors. It's the biggest demographic. It's the biggest amount of money they can make, right? Skins as well will be paid way more from survivors. I feel. I've got no, like... I guess that's just a guess. It's not based off anything. I can just see them doing that more. Because when you buy skins with killers, you don't see it. So I feel like you're more inclined to do it with Survivor, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm just speculating there.
Explore new ways that we can keep the
Wait, there's 4 to every 1 though, so probability-wise, probably.
Experience in Dead by Daylight fresh and fun for both new players entering our universe and for our highly engaged expert players with hundreds or even thousands of hours in the game.
Feels like the fun is being sucked out of the game.
People who have played our game for a long time with thousands of hours. Like, we have this hug tech, flashlight blinds, making it a little too easy, getting rid of light burn, getting rid of the crows, possibly getting rid of Oniflix, Sky Billy, Space Billy. All these things are little intricate features that were...
I wonder if they're going to talk about how the game's all about kills as well, though. Because that will have put people off too. Like, I think one of the biggest... Like, if you actually look at the Steam data, the Steam charts, the biggest drop off, and it's like 3 months solid where they lose like 20,000-30,000 people, is when they introduced MMR. So I'm pretty sure that will be part of it too. The game became less about, you know, kind of trying different builds out and, you know, going for this person and emblem system and all that kind of stuff, to kills, escapes, right? So that kind of watered down as well. They watered down the actual goal. Like, you're thinking about, I don't know if they're going to say this, but they're thinking about how they've watered down the skill, but it's almost like a foreshadowing where they've been watering down the goal, haven't they, before any of this. So maybe that was a foreshadowing, that they're just watering everything down to be just really just, you know, this, that, just really simplified, right?
Removed. When people have thousands of hours in the game, it almost feels like that these little...
Oh my god, that was 23k. So what I mean?
Thousands of
21. It's crazy. Some of these people might not have started when I did.
Hours in the game. It almost feels like that these...
23. Crazy.
Little intricacies were techniques that players could look forward to learning over time. And it seems like behavior is removing everything related to high skill play in order to make things more...
And they hide high skill players away as if they don't exist. And then they tell low skill players that they're high skill. And then everyone's confused. And then you have low skill players being like, decisive strike needs buffing. right? Ugh.
Fair and balanced for a casual player who doesn't know what's going on. But when it comes to the elimination of these techs, we forget that we're removing the reason for players to play our game in the long term. A technique, a skill, a new way to play.
I don't think the devs forget that. I don't think the devs treat vet players very well. I really don't.
In the future, you see that the more we...
Like, you don't even get rewards or anything for getting to the top level. You get nothing. You just get nothing. It's all hidden. You're hidden away. Oh, you rank area 1. Oh, I'm rank area 1. It's not like, it's just, you don't get anything, do you? It just happens because you're good at the game, and then you get punished for it. And just go against insane players.
Remove all the different ways a player can express skill within our video game, the less of a reason players...
And sadly, because, as he's saying, the skills massively watered down, skilled players is comms, pre-drop, shift W, efficient gens, and then obviously perk synergy. Broken perk synergy or just strong perk synergy, right? So it can be, you know, a team who has loads of lives, just for example, and they're just using that to shift W, which is, you know, a strong synergy in that strategy, or sprint burst. Or you could use broken ones where the whole team has fucking for the people buckle up, right? Essential background player, shit like that.
Have to play the game in the long term.
But that's what it will be.
Yes, some of these things that may feel unfair for a new casual player, but how long are those players going to remain new in the first place? They're going to stay, and then they're just going to know how to do everything, like Slushy here. You see, gameplay loop is played on a heartbeat, where players have their high games, their low games, learning different techs to counter the opponent. Think of a patient with a heart monitor with a heartbeat. It has their ups, their downs, their mids, their lows. This is the natural heartbeat of how a human life functions and works. But just like how a human heartbeat monitor has life, is when we have a flatline. This is when there is no heartbeat, and there are no highs, there are no lows, there is just a slow, steady hum without life. When we start removing intricate techniques, we start moving towards the flatline, where a patient has no heartbeat and they're dead in the water, slashing all the reasons for people to play our game long term and making the game feel the same for everyone, minimizing match experience variability. But let's go on.
And my next point is...
I think he liked that analogy. It was a good one though.
The balancing with DBD as a whole. It's an asymmetrical game. It's really, really hard to balance a asymmetrical game. In my personal opinion, the most fun that I had in Dead by Daylight,
Blaine, thank you for the
there
gift
was
sub.
no
Appreciate it, man.
balance being thought about at all. Of course, some things probably needed to go, like Eruption, decisive when you could do Jin.
Did Eruption need to go? It just needed, like, changing. I don't like the idea of survivors not being able to do their objective. I'm like a big advocate for, if it is going to have gen defense, well, I'm an advocate for like gen defense to be base, really. So you don't need to use all these perks, and then you can just water down the current ones and then create a whole new meta, which would be fucking more interesting. But I'm an advocate for gen defense regressing, not blocking, because I think blocking creates problematic gameplay. Like, if you use blocking stuff, the killer has a more incentive to just camp or something, right? Because they can't do gens, so they could stay at hook. You know, creates this weird kind of more camp-centric gameplay. So I'm more for regression. But yeah, I feel I don't know, the eruption probably was too much. But yeah, let's go back.
Needed to go like Eruption,
IMCBB
when you could do gens, Starstruck double range nurse,
what?
Eruption, decisive when you could do gens.
So decisive when you could do gens. Can't remember that iteration. I remember the first one where you could just use it whenever you wanted. Like, I guess that's what she's on about. You could use decisive anytime you wanted. I think you didn't even need to be hooked. You could just use it. But I think you only got it once, but you could use it whenever you wanted. Conspicuous actions. Oh yeah, they changed that, didn't they? Okay. So she's on about what's after the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the very, very first one where you could just use it whenever you wanted. Didn't it activate only on death hook first? No. You could use it whenever. You could use it before you even hooked. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to think back, but I'm pretty sure.
Starstruck, double range nurse, things of that nature. But even still, I miss the game before MMR got introduced.
Yeah.
Because right now, with the way that games...
Didn't I say this would happen? I'm pretty sure I said if they base this game on kills, it's not going to be as fun. There's going to be more tunneling, more camping. People are going to be working out strategies on how to kill efficiently, which is going to, you know, force survivors to do gens quicker. Like, didn't I fucking say this shit with SBM? I'm fucking sure I did. Like, how did people not see this coming? It's annoying.
Who has the stronger gen perks? And then inevitably...
I still remember that fucking game. I still remember it because it's such a perfect example when SBMM weren't in the game at this point. And I was playing Huntress, and I had one person on basement hook, and then someone else went down there, and I hit them as well, I think, and I put them on a hook, and then I said to you guys, I turned to you guys, and I was like, right guys, if SBMM was in the game now and it was all about kills, I think I was just talking about kills, like if they made the game about kills, so it was something like that, SBMM or kills, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. I said if the game's about kills now, I can just camp here at the very top of this, and I can't lose. They need to complete way more gens for these two to be able to survive through it. So I win now. That's what kills will do. And I had people in the chat being like, no, lower the sound, but I can mute it. There you go. Thank you for the gift of sub lane. And I had people in the chat being like, no, that won't happen. That's a bad example. Fucking so stupid, man. Like, I'll always remember that because it's a perfect example. It's a perfect example. If the game's about kills and you can work out in your mind the numbers, right? So you're like, oh, they've done one gen. There's two people on the hook. No one can get down there because I'm Huntress, so I can hit them and then hit them again. Maybe if two went, possibly, but it's going to do so much damage. If I just stand here at the top, it was Ormond, I think. If I just stand here at the top, they can't physically finish these gens. Let's say if I had like deadlock as well on top of it, like they can't physically do these gens, so I can just stand here. But if the game's about hooks, I don't get anything for this. I actually lose hooks, right? But yeah,
you get
whatever.
Killer's proxy camp.
This is when I was
because the
proper trying to make people understand hooks are good for the game.
Running the gen speed perks that they can. Right now, it feels like a whole lot of
survivors don't need gen speed perks. That's the fucking irony of it all.
One-sided games because of that.
They don't even need
Either
them.
all of the survivors escape, or the killer gets a 4K, and there's absolutely...
That's not my experience. My experience is what the DVD kind of want. It's 2 to 3K. If I don't use full meta, it's like 1 to 2, I would say. If I start using some meta stuff, it's 2 to 3, right? So it isn't all the escape or I kill everyone. That sounds like a bouncing... That sounds like a bouncing below the buffer, right? They go up there, they're going against top, they fall back down, they're going against them. That's what it sounds like. That's below the buffer. That would be my guess.
Absolutely no in between. I hardly ever get very close,
that sounds below the buffer.
Intriguing games anymore. Like I said, I would rather play a very unbalanced, fun DBD than the DBD that we have right now that has so many issues.
Behavior's reasoning for matchmaking changes like this is to make the solo queue experience better, make it so that baby killers...
I think a lot of issues what I've come to DBD is because people are so obsessed with trying to get solo queue too swift. Like I said, why would you try and make solo the same as Swift? Why would you not just try and make Swift go lower, right? Because if Swift is like this massive imbalance thing, which it is, it doesn't have to be. If you're bad at the game, the killer's fine. I'm talking if you're good, if you're a good foreman. If Swift is imbalanced, why would you grab solo and try and make that imbalanced, right? And also, when you do grab solo and make that imbalanced, don't you need to rebalance everything all of a sudden? Why don't you just keep solo and then push Swift down and then start the balance going? Like, why do you do it that way? It's way quicker. But let's see where they're going with this. But it says they're doing it because of solo, right?
Don't go against unfair matchups. So in reality, DBD's skill-based matchmaking...
Them unfair matchups exist because of Swift. If you make killer weak enough to make solo have close games, Swift dominate even more.
Is to make it so that every match feels balanced and linear. People go against opponents of their same skill level. we're in the
But your balance for fucking low-level players make it make sense.
situation now. It's either get blown out of the water or blow the survivors out of the water. Where
That's not my
killing too
experience.
fast doesn't feel fun, or getting destroyed too fast isn't fun. The hyper optimization of the community in combination with the skill-based matchmaking makes games
No off the record, the fuck?
feel unfun overall. With a bit of matchmaking variability and chaos, there is more of a heartbeat, like the old making
What's that?
variability.
Wait, is this is example of where it's... No, this is example where they're all using the same shit. By the way, look. Look, DS, 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 DS. Only reason you don't see this as much anymore is because it's off the record. Look at this. It's been meta for so fucking long. Let's buff it. But yeah. What is he saying here, though?
And
Wait.
chaos overall.
So he's saying this is boring because it's the same stuff, but then...
With a bit of matchmaking variability.
Is he saying this is like more varied? I'm trying to understand because this is unbreakable, unbreakable, unbreakable. DS, 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 DS. Dead on, dead on, dead on. I can't tell. And then obviously gen defense, once again, killers always had to have gen defense. Maybe just another example.
And chaos, there is more of a heartbeat, like the old pre-MMR system. And yes, I know some of you guys will say, that's unfair to new people. That's unfair to new killers.
New killers and new people, also, sorry, new survivors and new killers can get better. You don't balance for people at the lower end, they can get better. When you're at the top end, it's harder to get better. There's always something you can learn, but you're not going to have as much to learn. It literally just exactly what I've been saying,
They're
man.
going to get destroyed by different players all the time. We have to keep in mind that we want our gameplay loop to be a heartbeat, not just a linear flow. For new players or solo queue players in specific, yes, they may get bad games here and there. Yes, they may get destroyed.
By the way, as well, borrow time, borrow time. Do you know I don't see this anymore? Because they made it base. Borrow time, borrow time, borrow time. DS.
Destroyed, but it
Fucking
won't be
hell.
all the time. There will be a sense of variability as the current system in place, along with behaviors decision making, is brinting off the fun of the game, the variability of games feeling different, and this skill-based matchmaking stagnation pattern that we're going upon.
And
The game being based on kills of the skill-based matchmaking. You can have skill-based matchmaking and have a fun game, right? The downside is it does form metas. It does form metas. It will always form metas, but it can be a lot more fun. It really can. The issue with skill-based matchmaking is the goal is kills. Simple as. Like, if the goal were hooks, it'd be more interesting. If you made it where gen defense was a base thing, and then, killers could use all different perks, you will see more perks. You need to think about how you do it with Survivor, though, right? The reason you see Survivor perks, the same Survivor perks, is because they're ultra, ultra strong. They give you, like, super strong survivability, right? So they'd probably have to, like, I don't know what they'd have to do there. But we're talking about like such a different game at that point, aren't we? Which is a good thing, but it's so much to think about.
my next point is reworks and priorities. If we're going to continue on this road of making Dead by Daylight a balanced asymmetrical game, then there are a lot of things that go untouched and a lot of things that get touched that didn't need to be touched. If Dead by Daylight's going to be unbalanced, make it unbalanced. If it's going to be balanced, make it balanced. And put your priorities where they need to be. Made for This went untouched for however long it went untouched for. For the People Buckle Up is still in the game. Eruption got untouched for I don't know how long. Myers hasn't been touched.
Eruption were fast, man. Eruption were fast. How long was Eruption with that new one? Was it like 2 weeks? A month at most? I'm sure that Eruption were fast. I'm quite confident. Was it 6 months? No, fuck off, it weren't. 6 months sounds way too long. I'm talking about Eruption when it was at its strongest, by the way, not just Eruption. 6 months, really? Wow. That's weird. Okay, fair enough.
Since his release, basically, he can make a 3v1 very, very quickly, or he gets absolutely stomped because he's not running Tombstone. Trapper has needed so many buffs for so long, and he gets these very minuscule buffs. Freddy is one of the weakest killers in the game.
Yeah.
Even though his kill rate is high, they think he's fine. But no, he's not.
Yeah, but this means nothing.
Even though his
that means nothing. 62%, like, it means nothing. It means that we already worked this out. It means, even though he's a fucking psycho, it means that he's fucking Spirit's like so much big. I don't know, maybe she didn't do nothing. He means sorry, this means that out of 10 games, it can mean all different things, but it can also mean out of 10 games you get 8 draws and 2 wins. I think it is 8 draws and 2 wins. So 8 games with 2 kills, and then 2 games with 4 kills, I think it is. Like, this data is shit. I keep saying it's shit. Show hooks. It's shit data, man. It's so fucking ambiguous. It can mean so much stuff. That's funny, though. Where's Nurse? Is she at the bottom?
kill rate is high, they think he's fine. But no, he's not. The Knight is both unfun to play as and against. Onryo still stomps solo queues. The Knight is both unfun to play as and against.
Why though? This would be the slowest speed the Knight's Guard will deploy.
Onryo still stomps solo queue survivors. Not even to mention that 3 Jennings Skull Merchant was in the game for so long that is what broke me from wanting to play Dead by Daylight as a whole, and ever since.
The free gen thing is the fucking issue with the gen regression though, innit? Because if you free gen, it's it should basically be like, it shouldn't, I'm not saying like it should be a free win, but it's like the weakest position a survivor can be in. And for killers to still be stalemating and having to have like a 40-50 minute game to try and get a win when the survivor's in the weakest position was showing how bad the gem regression is, right? The killer didn't dare go for the actual chase. But yeah, that was ultra unfun for sure.
3 Jennings Skull Merchant,
Jesus.
I have forced myself to play the game. And even still, she has the highest kill rate in the game because she is that unfun to go against. And I fear that no matter what they do to her, nothing is ever going to be good.
Can like content creators stop using this kill data? Can they stop doing it? Like, how can you look at this deadliest killers and see Skull Merchant and Sadako far above where I can't even see Nurse? Like, it's pointless. Can we stop using it? We're just confusing people. Like, it's so meaningless. This literally proves my point of how meaningless this kill data is. Where's Blight? Where's Spirit? This is the top 6. It's meaningless.
And I fear that no matter what they do to her, nothing.
We need to stop using it. It's completely meaningless data.
I can go on and on and on about this. I have Blight wrote down, I have Trickster wrote down, I have Huntress wrote down, I have Clown wrote down, and there are a lot of things. And that's
to you know, give them props where it's due. I think Clown, well, I mean, it's quite fun with the invigoration, but I don't know how fun it is to go against. I ain't gone against the Clown. Oh, dude, it's so weird, man. They've gone into such a weird like spot. They've gone into such a weird spot.
Just killers. I could go into the survivor stuff too. Don't worry, I'm not just one-sided.
What's crazy, guys, right, is you can have Clown, who's running ultra speed. You pretty much can't anti-loop him, and the game's still close. There's something going on, like wrong. There's something going wrong, man. I can't put my finger on it, but you shouldn't be having close games when you've got a killer who's just flying towards you, hooking you, 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 right? It shouldn't be close games. It's very strange.
About this. It's just what's on my brain right now.
I believe behavior is touching things that don't need to be touched because they don't know what to do. They don't understand why people feel like quitting. So what they're trying to do is introduce a bit of chaos. I covered this quite a bit, where they believe, maybe people are just bored of our game and they just want something different. So by changing different characters that don't quite need to be touched, they're trying to veer off this feeling of stagnation that some players feel. But like you said, they have to commit to being either balanced or unbalanced. I believe you probably have an unbalanced skew since you want all the techs. But I genuinely believe that behavior does not understand what they want from their game. Or there might be some arguments internally about which direction the game should be going. With behavior implementing the April Fool's My Little Oni game mode, people loved it.
Yeah.
And behavior...
Though it would have been nice if you could have slid under the pallets.
may take that as the community wanting to see more
Because it was
chaos,
a guaranteed down.
but I don't believe that's the core reason. My Little Oni was super casual. There was no pressure to try to win. It was just about running around, having a bit of fun against a giant killer. A casual, unbalanced gameplay experience where winning and losing didn't really matter. And I fear that behavior may make a second game mode, doing more chaos and abandon their main one. Behavior, I believe that a lot of your community wants an unbalanced main DBD game mode with all the crazy techs, no skill-based matchmaking, just a bunch of chaos and good old casual fun like My Little Oni. The majority of your player base are 1,000-hour veterans, and that should be your target demographic. Every player has probably seen the ins and outs of all the intricacies of different killers and survivors. That stagnation is finally taking over. And by slashing techs, trying to make an asymmetric game overly balanced is causing a bit of stagnation. Yes, solo queue, new players, new killers may suffer for a couple games here and there, but at least there's a heartbeat in an unbalanced version of Dead by Daylight that your target demographic community misses so much, particularly with a main game mode. I believe behavior is treating their main game mode like the rank-based matchmaking game mode you're all asking for. And a lot of you guys are probably confused as to why they're not adding a rank-based mode.
Oh, it is.
And once they design another casual mode, it's likely everyone will just play casual side mode instead. And
the Oni is ranked on this game. There is no casual. It's all being kind of measured by the SBMM, right? Ranked with a real good matchmaking. I still think it boils down to the kills being the incentive. A lot of it. Like, my least fun matches with Survivor have just been killers who have just, and no effect, like, fair play to them, like, they're trying to win, have been killers who have been like, I am playing to kill, right? Like, I'm just gonna one-hook this person, or I'm gonna go for this person and then tunnel them off, and etc. And completely get it, obviously. We all do it. Well, I can't say we all do it. Maybe some people don't, but people who say, oh, I hate this, and then play killer end up doing it sometimes. So it's kind of like the necessary evil of playing killer, right? Like, you want to get kills because it's the incentive. If it weren't the incentive, I don't think you'd go against that as much.
the main ranked mode will die down a bit.
Oh, it's massively
I don't want
understandable.
behavior to do
It's
that.
not fun, but it's understandable.
Because obviously what people crave is that sense of variety and player improvement progression rather than stagnation.
You know what would really fucking help? Really fucking help? Getting SBMM, well, making about hooks, but let's just say kills, but about hooks would be better. But let's just say it. Like, I don't want to, I get on tangents and I start saying everything I fucking want. What would really be good is SBMM being linked to rank, so you actually see your rank and you know it's linked to it, and as you go up, you get rewards for getting higher and higher and higher. And then when you get to the very, very top, it's very, very hard to keep, because when you lose one game, you get back down. So you have to keep winning at the very, very top. But then make it about hooks, and then massive incentive to go for hooks, right? But that'd be really cool. With a kill incentive, not as much, because it's a bad incentive. So if there's an issue here, it's just going to follow it, right? Like a root or whatever, like a poisoned root or whatever. So obviously you make it about hooks, but no one gets that. Well, some of you do, but a lot of people don't seem to get that. But if you had that, right, that would be cool, right? So you could see yourself going up the rank and, oh, I unlocked this, going up the rank, oh, I unlocked this, oh, I went down, okay, maybe I need to work on this. That'd be really cool. And then they make the data about hooks as well, which would make balance better too. All this is kind of just like, yeah, like it's kind of obvious shit, right? This is what I've been preaching for fucking years.
That I feel like is underlooked a lot of time by the Dead by Daylight team is the community. I genuinely think without streamers, Dead by Daylight would not be as successful as it is. I believe that streamers are the backbone of this game.
At least for the start, like us OGs. We definitely helped it get more on the map. To say that we are the main people who did it, blah, 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 I don't think you can say that because you don't know, right? But I think at the very, very start, we give it lots of exposure. There's definitely potential that you influence more people to buy it, which then caused like a snowball for sure. Saying that we, did it all, I think is a bit, I don't think that's right. But I do think I think it's naive to say we had no influence, right? At least at the start. We was OGs.
And a lot of us aren't shown the recognition that we deserve.
Zero recognition.
I personally don't care if I never, ever get Twitch shirts. But there are so many creators within the Dead by Daylight community that absolutely deserve Twitch shirts. I may not deserve them, and that's completely fine. But there are so many that do. And it feels like we only get a Twitch shirt drop every, 3 months or so. There's no...
She went for proper serious shit to fucking Twitch shirts. It's funny.
Definitive way to get these shirts without just luck. There's no way to apply for them. There's nothing. The Fog Whisperer program has been relatively untouched for quite a while as well.
Yeah, it's kind of
being as small of a community as it is in retrospect to games like Valorant, Call of Duty, Fortnite, etc. Creators do need some recognition for playing the game, and I just feel like it's unseen.
Yeah. They are a bit weird with the Fog Whisperers as well. Like, I remember I saw something leaked from the Fog Whisperer thing like a while ago, where they said when there were loads of like cheater issues, they said that they were going to put the Fog Whisperers on like a separate server or something. Can you remember that from like ages ago? I thought that was fucking weird. That's like proper, what's the word? Like elitism. Didn't like that. Can you remember that? Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah. How Fog Whisperer is currently handled. Yeah. I wanted to just so much good when I were a Fog Whisperer, I don't think you realize like how much advice I was giving them or trying to give them. And you'll never will. But I was giving a lot of fucking advice. Because that's what I thought you were there for. I weren't there to just shill the game like some fucking yes man. I wanted to actually make the game the best it could be. Through my understanding, through my experience.
She's completely right. I'll speak from my experience, is that a lot of the Twitch shirts and Fog Whisperer program seem to be more about a BHVR employee's favorite streamer to watch. And possibly even streamers that are considered safe and corporate friendly.
Not wrong. There were definitely people close in behavior like community managers and stuff who like specific streamers, and then they did end up being Fog Whisperers. But again, like, you can't, it is speculation. It is weird. It's almost like, I don't really want to say the cool guys club because it definitely isn't, but you know what I mean? Like, it's that the little kind of like click where it's like, oh, we're just going to get these people in or whatever. It is a bit like that. It's very, very strange. I've always thought different parts of DBD were a bit strange, like different communities, some of them.
But not necessarily the streamers who contribute the most to the game.
No, for 100%.
The focus is mainly put on the identity of who a person is, but
there'll be some people who are Fog Whisperers who play like massively casual. They have zero input into like what they want, or what they want might be just really well, actually I'm speculating.
That's necessarily the type of speculation work and effort that is put into trying to create content for the game, I feel. Where she is kind of exactly right. And I don't really care for myself to have Twitch shirts or if I am ever a Fog Whisper. That's not my main intent. I just want this game to do well, and
Dude, I have a fucking shirt in this game, and I never wear it of the True Love emote. I don't care.
Try to do my best to contribute to the health and success of the DBD community, or the success of DBD as a whole, because I like making content for this game. But you can't deny the fact that there are a lot of people out there who put a tremendous amount of work and effort into projects to trying to share the Dead by Daylight word and interest of the game. And there is a complete lack of recognition and care for particular creators who are just trying to act in the best interest of trying to make sure the Dead by Daylight community is happy.
And I'm using this as a segue, but Anon mode remains untouched. More oftentimes than not, Anon mode is used maliciously rather than someone who actually needs to use Anon mode. I personally don't even use Anon mode for myself. And I know a lot of other streamers who don't use Anon mode. In my own personal opinion,
I use it because I get sniped all the time. Doesn't really help too much though. Get people coming in saying, I just went against you, but I'm anonymous.
Valorant, for example, and I say that because I'm playing Valorant currently. But Anon mode in Valorant, you don't see anyone's name until the game is over. For example, if a killer was running Anon mode, they would have Anon mode up until the last survivor was either dead or everyone escaped. And then the name gets revealed. I think a lot of people...
What would that do? What would that change?
Would or a killer was running Anon mode, they would have Anon mode up until the last survivor was either dead or everyone escaped. And then the name gets revealed. I think a lot of people would not play as maliciously if that were a thing. And if you...
Really? Why? I don't get it. Why would they not? You could just change your name on Steam and make it private, which they 100% would do. Or people will literally use it for exposure, where it's like, look, this is me, check me out, I'm this asshole. Nah, I don't think so. I think people are just assholes, anonymous mode or not. They're just assholes. One thing it can do, which I agree with, no, because they could private the profile and change their name. So that won't even work. If they couldn't hide their identity online, right? If they couldn't hide their identity at all, the only thing I can see it doing is if someone is sniping, because I only see it from the stream point of view. If someone is sniping, you could just be like, well, even would it even do that? Because then they'd say, but I know, no, because they know they were going against you as well, because they just said they saw you. I don't know, man. I don't get this angle.
You are worried about your profile.
Does anyone get this angle? You'll be able to report their Steam ID if they're cheating. Don't really matter. The report system is better now. You can do it that way. It is actually better now. That's golf clap to behavior. Sometimes the person dies and then knows your Steam from your profile and tells their friends. Knows your Steam from your profile and tells your friends. I'm anonymous. You can't go onto my Steam. You can't do anything. I don't get this angle. Let me just hear it one more time.
Everyone escape mode. They would have a non-mode up until the last survivor was either dead or everyone escaped.
Right, and then you can see their name, but they could just change their name and then private their profile.
And then the name gets revealed. I think a lot of people would not play as maliciously if that were a thing. And if you are...
And I don't know what she means by maliciously, but these people who are trying to be toxic, they don't give a shit if you know their fake online name or not. They don't care. They'll probably have loads of different accounts as well. They're just toxic individuals. And then people who aren't playing horrible, but are just tunneling or slugging or something like that because they want to win, they're probably the ones who are going to get the most abuse, right? So this probably would be a bad thing. What do you think? I don't know. See, it seems weird.
Your profile or whatever, make it private. Why do you have a public profile if you're worried about something like that?
I feel like a
Wait,
lot of
this
people
makes no
use
sense at all. Now she's saying make it private.
If you are worried about your profile,
I don't get this at all. So you see a random username, what means nothing, on a private profile. Is it because you can block them or something? Oh, whatever. I don't get it. I don't get this angle. That's fine.
Why do you have a public profile if you're worried about something like that?
I feel like a lot of people use anonymous mode as a way to deface individuality. I think what she may be referring to.
People do that online. That's just online people. I'm so confused with
is the possibility that anonymous mode is being used by subtle cheaters so that people can't really see their profile. When people use auto dead hard or subtle speed hacking, anonymous mode is a way for certain players to remain more under the radar. Maybe there's some individuals who use anonymous mode as a way to treat more people more inappropriately or rudely, but I don't really know on that front, to be honest. But her version of anonymous mode would be interesting.
Not do anything.
It might be all right.
Brings me to my next point, the Dead by Daylight community as a whole. Currently,
it's a strange one.
There is a lot of salt farming happening, which that happens with absolutely every game. It's whatever. But the way that Dead by Daylight goes about it is a little bit different. Because it
cancel
brings
culture.
Cancel culture into it. And it punishes you.
Yeah, 100%. It's fucking well bad. Dude, the amount of times people have tried to cancel me when I'm so fucking chill, it's fucking ridiculous. I knew she was going to say that.
Because it brings cancel culture into it.
Yeah, it's fucking
it
well
punishes
nasty.
You for doing basic talking within the game. You can call the killer a bitch or whatever, and then for some reason, the streamer who called the killer a bitch is
now getting cancelled, and now they like people are digging up history where they've said something or something's happened, and they're really problematic, and yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But that's Twitter. That's DBD Twitter, and it's Twitter in general, right? That's where it gets fucking crazy. Like, they can twist anything. Them people are like 24/7 on Twitter, and they have no life, so they will 100% try and dig up as much as they can about whoever it is, because they've got nothing else going on. Miserable's company, it's massive on Twitter. Yeah, I've had so many people try that shit on me, but I'm a normal guy. I've got none of this fucking weird shit to dig up.
Widely accepted, but for some reason,
holy shit, they'd be happy if I actually did though, right? They have to make shit up with me.
You call a killer a bitch, or you call a survivor a bitch. You're going on Twitter, buddy. You're getting canceled. Dead by Daylight players are sensitive. You can salt farm.
But also, there's money to be made in kind of trying to cancel people or trying to, talk about this problematic person. So there's incentive. It's a weird one, man. It's a weird one. Some people definitely should be in the spotlight if they are very, very nasty. But the reason they are in the spotlight is you make money from it, right? Or you grow from it. But that's kind of just social media and just content creation, isn't it? They ever cancel me, you're done. They won't cancel me. How can they cancel me? I'm a normal fucking chill guy with no weird fucking thoughts. Now there's legit DBD streamers who these weirdos think are like nice and wholesome, who have like private discords, who shit on people. Like, and say like really nasty, like racial stuff and all this kind of just weird, just fucking weird mind. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean.
All you want.
He's completely right.
Salt farming is kind of funny.
Like, if that person isn't cancelled, how the fuck are they going to cancel me, right? Fucking hell.
I will admit it. But where it's gone too far is the cancel culture that comes along with it. And my final thoughts.
Actual nasty human.
I think individually, you can't really control how other people react. But I think it is part of like human nature for people to have like a good side and a bad side to them. One day someone may have a good day, and then next day they may have a bad day. If someone feels like talking smack, it's like, oh, maybe they got yelled at work or something, and they're just using the video game as a coping mechanism to wind down from like everyday life stresses.
Yeah, potential.
When it comes to cancel culture, it's kind of like highlighting the fact that someone may be stressed out, having a bad day. I'm going to cancel this person because that was a day my boss yelled at me because I messed up. It's like, damn, that sucks. We're all human beings. And
that's weird. I can't relate at all to that. You've had a bad day, so you try and cancel someone with like fake shit. That's fucking weird. I can't relate. Like, that's not normal.
It's within our human nature to have our good days and
That's
bad things.
fucking weird.
And that's okay. When this type of culture goes around, it may make some people scared to just even express themselves or interact. It may make people scared to even play their game and be their authentic self.
Some people.
If someone kind of talks or talks smack, then okay, you can report it and maybe get a player banned. But when we're trying to cancel every other person, it's gotten to the point where someone tried to cancel me because I walked in front of their flashlight or something. This guy, if he starts chasing us and we run away from the door, right? Both of
This isn't cancelling you. Do you know what cancelling is? Dude, I've been called racist, homophobic. Like, like, the recent one was fucking the R word, apologist, where I say it's fine to bloody R people. Like, what the fuck, you know? I have fucking weird shit, man. Like, holy fuck. Like, I've been, if you want to see like someone who has had fuckloads of cancel attempts, me. This is not cancelling. They're saying that you messed up on the thing. Dude, I have this fucking clown clip on Twitter which circulates like every, and Ots even knew, circulates like every 3 minutes. Whenever someone's like, my content's shit. How do I get likes? Ah, true. Twitter clip of clown. Hi, he bad at this palette. Yay, 300 likes. Thank you. Like, literally every 3 days or something.
All of us are getting, it goes from a 1K to a 3K. It's getting ridiculous. This phenomena of oversensitivity is by far not an understatement. And it seems to be getting stronger.
I'm a homophobe. Never talked about it. I don't know how they've said that one. I don't know. It's all fake. So I'm not. Like, I'm not racist either. It's all fake shit. That's what the cancel culture is. They try and cancel you. Like, they get their way to cancel you if they're actually right with it, right? Or if they've got some truth in it. But if they've got zero truth in it, they can't cancel you. That's why I've had 3 fucking attempts by fuckloads of people. Like, the last tweet, what got attention, it had nearly 1 million fucking views on Twitter. So I've had all these fucking people trying to do it again. Nothing. It's bullshit.
Goes on. I don't really think that this is exclusive to Dead by Daylight. I think this is a worldwide phenomena across all gaming. That is why I made that video related to the infantilization of Dead by Daylight. Because for goodness sake, if I make a slight to the infantilization of Dead by Daylight, because for goodness sake, I made that video related to the infantilization of Dead by Daylight. Because for goodness sake, if I make a slight gameplay mistake,
I probably can't
people
say
will
it.
try to cancel me on Twitter.
Well, that probably is how you say it.
You missed your dead hard timing. You jumped off the building. You walked in front of my flashlight.
Begging killer mains to stay on killer, blocking my flashlight, dropping a bang in front of me and blinding me, saying we deserve it for going for a window CJ. Dude, I'm so envious of your cancelling. Holy fuck, dude. This is your cancelling? I get this shit every other day on Twitter. This stupid shit where they just like make up shit about me. This is nothing. Like, holy fuck. I've had like life-ruining attempts at cancelling. Like, holy fuck, I'm jealous.
It's a video game. Relax.
And my final thoughts.
They're just being evil. That's just what Twitter does. It makes them feel better about themselves. Just ignore it.
I have no idea how long this break is going to be. I don't know if my break is going to be a week. I don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks. I don't know if it's going to be a month. I don't know if it'll be until anniversary, or I don't know if it's going to be forever. I can say, however, that I will absolutely come back to Dead by Daylight for chapter releases and events that are happening within the game, because I do love Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has given me absolutely everything. At this point, I'm not sure if I said that at the beginning of this video or not, so I'm just going to re-say it.
I remember.
I would not be where I am currently with the platform that I have and the community that I have.
That's created a lot of
without
content creators, Dead by Daylight.
Eternally grateful
Like, from nothing.
for behavior, for creating a game that gave me absolutely everything and gave me my dream. But
So they might feel kind of a loyalty to it as well, right? In that sense. It's one of my longest running games, I would say. It didn't create me as a streamer though. I think MKX was the one.
It's time that I take a break from the game just for my own mental health. And yeah, it's kind of sad. And I've already cried over this exact topic, so I won't cry about it anymore. But yeah, I love you, Dead by Daylight, and I always will. Thank you for listening to me if you made it this far into the video, and I hope to have you while I'm playing other games. But for now, I'll see you next time, cuties, and thank you for listening to me.
That can happen a lot with DVD creators when they move to another game. They get like pretty much no viewers. They don't seem, well, quite a lot of content creators on DVD. They don't seem to have the most loyal viewer bases, I would say. Like when they move to another game, they won't ever get the same amount. With me, it kind of fluctuates. It depends what game I go on. But on some other games, like crazy amount. Some, you know, not so much or whatever. But I can see the fear in DVD content creators actually being scared to go to another game.
So why exactly are so many content creators quitting?
I mean, if it's your full-time job, you know, you do need to make a living.
Argument has been extremely
also, Sir3 share the 18 months. Thank you, man.
Well put together. It's because a lot of us have a great love for the game. We want to see the game do well.
That's why I fucking say what I say. Like, that's why I'm so fucking passionate. Like, I won't, like, if I didn't fucking care about DVD, I wouldn't talk about this shit. I just fucking play it. Like, I just talk about random shit. I like,
a lot
how
of
don't people get
just
that?
Want the game to succeed. Although Behavior may be making some of the best updates the game has ever seen recently, with the All Things Wicked chapter, My Little Oni, the Blood Moon event, Behavior.
Blood Moon was shit. But yeah, Unknown's probably one of the best killers that they've done, and My Little Oni had a lot of potential if they could slide under fucking pallets and vault. Like, because they couldn't slide or vault, once you realize that, it was free wins. Like, there were nothing to it. But it, yeah, I agree. Like, a small change on that thing, and the new killer's really cool.
Is doing outstanding with their content drops. And that may be just it. She mentioned she's definitely going to be coming back for like chapters and updates and the new types of killers. But what about just playing the game casually? Or like playing the game like on and off here and there? I think the problem is not the content drops the game gets, but the foundation upon which Dead by Daylight sits upon. Are we a casual game? Are we a competitive game? Are we balanced? Are we unbalanced? Why does a balanced skill-based matchmaking system make things not feel fun? Is it because of a sense of stagnation? Does our game have a heartbeat? Why are we removing all these different texts that give veterans, our core demographic, a reason to play our game in the long run? Why are those getting removed? Are our decisions making the game less fun to play? Ultimately, I love Dead by Daylight. I love playing Huntress. I'm a Huntress main. I play this game a lot. I love making content. I like making stories for you guys. This game is amazing. I don't think there's any other game that I've ever played that has this type of FPS level experience for a Huntress player like myself. But honest to God, I just want to do everything I possibly can to try to help the developers make their game better. I want their game to succeed. I want their community to be happy. And a lot of the reason why I make these talking videos, reaction videos, talking about problems in the game is not because I want to dogpile in the game and just express negativity. I genuinely, honestly want the developers to do well. And the only way to do that is to try to show them the reasons as to why people feel a certain way, what people are thinking, how the community is trying to contribute to trying to make the game better. I absolutely love this game, but that's why we need to cover these types of problems. I personally won't be quitting DBD. Matter of fact, I'm going to be writing scripts and creating stories and crazy engaging videos more for you guys. But it would be completely irresponsible and a disservice to the community if I didn't cover the reasons as to why some people are upset. I want this game to do better, and I want the community to be happy. And maybe that is something that's almost impossible to do, but I feel like it's my duty and my responsibility with the platform I have to at least try. This video is mainly for the game developers as a message, as a means to talk to them so that they can understand their player base more intimately. I just want to help out. I don't hate behavior. I don't hate Dead by Daylight. I like what behavior is doing. I love their updates.
It's way too much of a,
and,
a strong word for sure.
I just wanted to make that clear before the closing of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll put Slushy's YouTube channel in the...
Okay. Well, interesting. I mean, yeah, I've... as I said... I've been saying this shit, like regarding the MMR, regarding it going against kills, regarding it getting watered down recently. I said that on Twitter. So I agree with quite a lot of it. Like, I think I've said pretty much what I need to say through the video, right? Coming from a good place, but people don't give a shit. I don't think about it as immaturely as that, like, behavior, blah, blah. I just say as it is. Like, if they do a shit design, I'm going to be like, that's shit. That's really, like, detached, right? Very, very detached. That's not me trying to think of a word to insult. It's me just saying that's detached, right? They don't know. They're not attached. They've detached from it, and they don't get what's going on, kind of thing. But I'm not using it as like an insult. I don't know if I really do actually just insult them just to insult. But yeah, I think I've said pretty much everything, right? So there you go. I did a bit of a react to it. So I guess I fucking spoke for fucking ages, but I knew I'd be like that. I'm opinionated.